Good morning from Ventura, California. This morning we're going to
Channel Islands National Park.
Let's go.
Channel Islands is a unique national park in that it's a series of islands off the coast of California that are only accessible by chartered ferries offered through island packers. We paid $72 each for round-trip tickets to Santa Cruz Island and drove to Ventura Harbor to get on the boat. If, like Jamie, you're a person prone to seasickness, be sure to bring some Dramamine, or you can buy some from the gift shop. The water was smooth on our sailing, but it's still nice to have it. The sailing takes about an hour, but it might be longer if you stop for wildlife viewings, like ours did. We got to see some bottlenose dolphins and humpback whales, which was pretty awesome. We're heading out on our hike on Channel Islands. We got here on the boat about a half hour ago. You have to get a mandatory orientation from a park ranger about what to do and what not to do. Mostly what not to do on the island regarding food, trash and stuff. There's also a campground here at the dock. That is the only place to get water. There is toilets, pit toilets, and then there's also pit toilets at the campground out where we're going, but there's no water out there. We're doing Smuggler's Road, which is a few hikes put together, and it says it's going to take us about 3 hours and 40 minutes. Our boat home leaves at 4:30, so we'll see how long it takes. But we're starting on a big incline. I think we have 1,700 feet elevation gain overall. So let's go. You ready for this?
I don't know.
That was encouraging. We're at mile 1 of 7.5. We've gone 500 feet of elevation gain of around 1,300. Pretty strong uphill in the beginning, but the views are pretty spectacular already. Where we came in was just down over there. And then we're gonna continue up over here. Yes, we still have further up to go. And then we'll get to see what's on the rest of the island. So let's continue on.
We started here. Well, that's where the boat came in. That was the visitor center and orientation. And then we started and came all the way up here, and we're up here now. And this is what we have left. All of this loop. And then we're going out to Potato Harbor, and then back along the North Bluff Trail, back down to where we started. So we just came up from that way, and the trail continues on that way. But we're actually going this way. So this continues on to take us, that's the Smuggler's Road Trail. We kept going straight on, but we're actually taking the loop trail back so that we can do the Potato Harbor Trail next, which is where we're heading for. Let's go.
We have made it up the big incline, and now we are going all the way back down. But to another part of the island. Why they couldn't have just built a little path between the two, I don't know, nature or something. But we're basically going back down to almost to sea level to a canyon.
We're going all the way down there.
So yeah, we're going to end up over there. So.
The other side.
Yeah. But we're 2.28 miles in, 74 minutes, and 808 feet of elevation gain. So pretty good so far. We're gonna stop in about another hour maybe for lunch. We packed sandwiches because there's no services on the island, obviously. Channel Islands National Park is known for the island fox, which is the only place you can actually see it in the whole world. So we're really hoping we can see one. We haven't seen one yet. We haven't seen any wildlife. We've seen some birds, but the plant life so far has been beautiful. Tim has something to say.
We can hopefully see the island fox when we get back down to the campground. They hang out there hoping for food.
So you're saying we should entice them with food?
No. That's not what the ranger said.
Oh, good. I was just testing whether you listen to the ranger or not.
Oh, okay.
Don't feed the island fox. My little lizard buddy, he's followed me all the way down the hill.
Actually, he's led you all the way down the hill.
He was ahead of me. Oh.
He's racing us to the bottom.
There you go, buddy.
On the way, on the way.
He's not scared.
Yeah. I'm fine. Channel Islands. 30 national parks visited. Woo!
We're almost halfway. We stopped at this little picnic table for some lunch. We packed sandwiches and little Pringles packets because there are obviously no restaurants or cafes or anything on the island, and you have to pack everything out with you again because there's not even any trash cans. There is they call them fox boxes that you can leave, like if you're just doing a shorter hike, you can leave food in them by the dock and not have to carry it around. And there's also toilets and some potable water, so we just filled our water bottles again. So now we have to continue on up another little incline, and then we'll be going around the back on the cliff edge bluff. So we'll see how Tim does with these heights. Well, we can leave Pinnacles happy. We got to see one of the island foxes. He just trotted all the way along this brush line. Yeah, I can still see him actually. He's around over there. It didn't come near to us, like 40 feet away. But yeah, he was just bouncing along. He was very, very bouncy. And he looked like almost like a mini coyote. So, day made.
On with part 2 of our hike, and we're hiking all the way up there. Again, this is pretty steep climbing trails here. It is not for novices, that's for sure.
We just passed 1,000 feet of elevation gain. Unfortunately, still have a ways to go on this. We're going, I don't know if you can see those people up there. We go along here and then back along on the other side, which should give us some nice ocean views, or channel views, I guess they are. So let's continue on.
Came from up over there, down into the valley here. Down at that campground is where we just had lunch, our picnic lunch, actually right there. And then we came up here, and this is the little bit left we got to go around the bend, and then we should be at the top, and it should all be downhill from there except for one little climb near the end of about 80 feet, so not bad at all.
Let's go.
Let's go.
We made it back from Potato Harbor, which was about 1.6 miles and out and back that way. We came up this way, went out to Potato Harbor, came back, and now we're going on the North Bluff Trail, which is quite close to the edge, so we will see how Tim does. We're going all the way up there to Cavern Point. This is the last little push, and then we're back to the dock.
Last steep part. Let's go.
I made it to Cavern Point. quite a stunning view from up here. Pretty much 360 degree, although all out this way is just water. But see one of the other islands over here. The dock that we have to walk to is back down there. And then Tim's back over there somewhere because he didn't want to come up here because it looks like this. There's no guardrails. It's just straight down. It's impressive. It's perfect weather. It's a little cloudy, a little moody. It's not too hot. It's been a good hike. We're almost done. Just have to go all the way over there.
It is the pier we docked at this morning and that we are heading back down to. So down this trail, back down to the pier. Let's go. We just saw another island fox. And he was right by the table that we're now sitting at. And he was so cute. We got real close to this one. I'm guessing the ones around this area at this is the visitor center behind me. I'm guessing the ones at this area are very used to humans because he wasn't phased at all by us. He was just looking around for scraps. We are currently sitting waiting for the boat, which will be here in about, so we have a little bit of downtime, which is nice. Our final stats for our hike were 4 hour 48 minutes, total distance 8.14 miles, average pace 35.25 a mile, active calories 1700, elevation gain 1,366 feet. It was a very good hike. It's definitely the most strenuous hike we've ever done. I don't think it's the longest. We took longer at the Narrows, but that one was shorter. But it's the longest distance and definitely the most elevation gain we've ever done. It was a fun day. So now we're going to get back on the boat in 45 minutes, if we're still awake. It's about another hour, and then we'll get back to Mr. Loki. We'll be happy to see us. And tonight for dinner, we're having Nepalese food as takeout. Definitely has been worth it so far. I'm just glad we got to see one of the little foxes because they're so cute.
And it's the only place in the world you can find them.
Yeah, this is the only place they live. I was reading in the visitor center that they actually removed, once the national park owned the island, they removed all non-native species over a period of time from the island because originally it was used as a sheep ranch. So when the national park got it, I think there was still some wild sheep roaming around, so they took care of that, and now only native species live on the island again. And in 2007, some bald eagle chicks were born here for the first time since the 1950s, so we didn't see any. We only saw brown pelicans, but they're out there somewhere.
That was a long, hard hike. It's the first hike we've ever done that All Trails rates as strenuous, which is their hardest trails. 2 of the 4 trails I think we did were rated as strenuous, and 2 of them were rated moderate to strenuous. So yeah, we did the hardest hikes we've ever done. I think it was the longest hike we've ever done, mileage-wise. And we were out there a good long time. What were we out there? How many hours?
Almost 5 hours.
Almost 5 hours. But it was totally worth it. The views from everywhere, but the North Bluff Trail especially are incredible. You get to look out over the ocean and walking along the tops of the cliffs. The island foxes, as Jamie already mentioned, are really cool. Yeah, it was good.